I know people with their kids living in cars. I know people with their kids living under bridges and tents, and they're not gonna go forward because they think, if I tell somebody, I'm gonna lose my child. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of kids that don't even know where they're gonna eat when they leave school. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Gaston County had that backpack program started, because there were a lot of kids that just didn't have anything to eat after they. So weekends, they were starving.
Most people have never heard of Gastonia. Gastonia is a town located in western North Carolina, approximately 10 miles from Charlotte. Gastonia tends to get overlooked, but recently we've made national news for all the wrong reasons.
New tonight, a viral video getting lots of attention and raising concerns in Gaston County. Now, it appears to show one student at Ashbrook High violently attacking another student.
And many tell WCNC Charlotte the person attacked.
First at 5, a 16-year-old learns he will not be getting bail after being charged with murder. Sean Simpson is accused of killing 16-year-old Zaquavius Dawkins and also accused of trying to kill someone else Sunday night in Gastonia.
When kids get in trouble, where do they go? They come to Warlick.
My name is Faye, and I'm from the G, of course, G-Town.
My name is Tiana, and I'm from Monroe.
Okay. They automatically think that it's a bad school, and they be like, oh, like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to work there. Them some bad kids. They don't got their school together and stuff like that. Because I done heard it plenty of times. So it's just like, dang, I ain't got to talk about our school like that. We ain't that bad. We really don't be doing that. And we just can get out of hand a little bit, but we working on that. We getting ourselves together.
Well, when I hear about it, they just swear it's like a commissary cell. Like, they just swear somebody got a shank in here, or if you come in, it's just like fresh meat, so you off bat gonna fight. Like, basically trying to make it seem like it's worse than what it really is.
What I think about Warlick is, I don't think it's that bad, but like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first came here, I didn't like this school, but then as I started getting used to it and stuff, and being around like all the teachers and getting close with them, it's like, now I actually like it. It's like, this my home, and now that I'm about to get out, it's like I don't even want to leave nobody, but it's like I got to, because I got to get out of here. I want to play basketball and stuff, but it's really not bad. Like, some days can be terrible, but most days it don't be that bad. It's just chill, for real.
What I think about Warlick, in my opinion, I feel like this would be a school I would graduate from. Not even gonna lie. At first, I was a little uncomfortable when I first came because I ain't know nobody. So as I started getting used to it, it started feeling like home. Like, I thought it was gonna be like how other people was basically painting a picture on it, until I actually had to see for myself. I really like it here. I ain't gonna lie, low-key don't want to leave for real, because I'ma miss it. But other than that, I like Warlick. Warlick, it feels like home.
There are many reasons why students act the way they act, and one of the culprits is homelessness. According to Gaston County Schools, homeless student data in 2023 to 2024, 722 students identified as homeless.
After I got pregnant, my sister ended up getting us kicked out of our house, and since my mom is on a fixed income, we didn't have the money to go get a new place. So for 8 months of my pregnancy, we lived in a tent, and my nephews ended up coming and moving with us, so that made it a lot more difficult, and not having any money to get a house made it even more difficult. And then the cars broke down, so then no transportation, you kind of just get stuck and stranded. So when I was homeless, well, I'd be like, it wasn't warm sometimes at night, you were cold, it'd be raining, so your tent would get full of water, not being able to get food or anything, no transportation place to place, not much support from family and things like that. This impacted my education experiences by, well, technically I dropped out before I found out. When I found out I was pregnant, I dropped out, and that was right before we went homeless. So being pregnant affected that more than going homeless, because I never went back until now.
Thank you, Harley, for sharing. Harley is no longer a student at Warlick Academy. She transitioned out, but we still keep in contact. I dedicated the following poem to her before she left.
Dear Harley, I wrote this for you. I wish you happiness and all that comes to you. I wrote this to say I will always love you. Near or far, you'll never be forgotten. I'll make sure to remember all your pretty smiles and laughs and all that we did have together. You were always my friend, and I'll always be your friend. You will always hold a special place in my heart because you always knew how to make my heart start. And through all the bad I've ever been through, every time I would get to see you, I always felt brand new. And as if the pain had all just washed away, because that's how bright you shine, just as bright as day. So bye until we meet again. So long, my favorite friend. For this goodbye doesn't mean forever, but until we can both go across the rainbows of friendship together. And I want you to never give up and always try, because in my eyes, I'd like to think my Harley could cross over the highest of skies. And when you feel sad or hopeless, look up for me, for I'll always be here to believe in you and push you to thrive, because I believe and I know you can do what you've put your mind to. And I'll always believe in you, even when it may seem no one else will, because you never failed to believe in me, even when I felt I couldn't do it. You've really impacted my life over this short time we did have together, and I'll always remember all the good you brought me. I'm sure you've been through a lot, and yet you're still able to say you made it. You've come so far, and through it all, you still were able to shine like a star. Continue to bloom and make sure to cover little man with all the warmth in your heart. I know you'll be a wonderful mommy for him, and I know he's going to be so proud to call you his mommy, because I was always proud to call you my friend. I love you, Harley. Bye.
According to the United States Interagency Council of Homelessness, homelessness disproportionately impacts youth of color, youth who identify as LGBTQI+, youth with disabilities, English learners, and youth who are pregnant or parenting.
If you're looking at an elementary age youth, majority of those students are homeless due to evictions, parents having separations or domestic violence or things like that. But the older the child gets, the reasons change more. So as children or youth age, around high school, you start seeing more of children just having a preference on where they want to live, or they are starting to have relationship conflict with their parents. So a lot of students will leave home, and we will consider those students unaccompanied homeless youth because they can't afford to pay for somewhere to stay on their own. Though they may be living with a friend or something like that, we still would consider those students unaccompanied homeless youth. Biggest misconception about youth homelessness is that they live on the streets. Majority of the people that are homeless are not people who actually live on the street. That's actually a small percentage of the homeless population.
I did I don't know if y'all know about Faith, Hope, and Love. It's a church over off of Franklin Boulevard. They were letting people live outside just to have somewhere safe to stay. So then the police came and said, y'all can't do that, right? So they had to have all those people leave. So we were out there signing people up for just different services. So I help people just by providing case management, and I connect them to housing resources. So out of all the people I engaged, people was born in 2001, people was born in 2005, people was born, like these are young. I probably did 70% of the people I signed up were young. Wow. I'm talking about young, like born in the 2000s. And some of it is because they're on drugs, like it's a lot of people that's on pills around here. But some of it is because they just didn't have, they didn't have the support.
I believe that homelessness affects education and job opportunities by a lot. Prime example, if a kid or anybody is going through homelessness at the time, I know their mind would not be on, learning the new math equation or whatever that may be in school. So, being homeless or just going through any burden outside of school makes focusing on school or academics very hard.
Help Carolina, we have worked with young people who, through stable housing, mentoring, and connection to resources, were able to return to school, find jobs, and reunite with their families. We also have programs like With Friends in Gaston County, and they do amazing work as well to provide safe shelter and developmental support for both runaway and homeless youth.
you.